Dear student, due to coronavirus, school started online classes for your study. So you can subscribe Golden Flower Palia YouTube channel, like and press the bell icon.
Hello students, today we are going to start chapter number 3 of physics class 11th, that is motion in a straight line. Okay, it is quite simple chapter and very interesting also. A number of things you are going to see in the different way, because you are already know how to describe the motion, how to know that a body is said to be in motion, a body is said to be in rest, that you have already studied in class 9th. Okay, today we are going to discuss the same thing but in little different manner. Okay, so let us start the chapter motion in straight line. Okay students, how much this motion is important is to describe the motion only by the definition, or we just need to relate ourself with the motion, with this definition of motion. Okay, let's see an example. Like in universe, if we see everything around us that is in motion. Let's start from your body. Okay, like blood, it is moving in our body, it is in motion. Okay, while we are sleeping, the air which we inhale and exhale, that is in motion. Okay, the leaves that they are falling from a tree, they are in motion. The planes, the bicycle, the motorcycle, that they are the cars, those are carrying the people from one place to another place, they are in motion. If we talk about the earth, okay, that is also moving around its axis in every 24 hours. It is completing its one rotation in every 24 hours. It is also completing its one revolution around the sun, same as the moon is moving around the earth. Okay, the sun is itself moving around the nucleus of Milky Way, and the Milky Way is also moving around the center of galaxies. Okay, so we can see the things around us, everything, it is in motion. They all are moving, but how to define this motion? Okay, that's a question. So what is motion? Motion is change in position of a body with time. If a body is changing its position with time, we say the body is in motion. Okay, so what is we are going to talk about the motion in a straight line. Motion in a straight line. Okay, motion in a straight line. If a body is moving in a straight line, we call this motion as rectilinear motion. Okay, so here we are going to describe the motion, not we are going to find out what causes the motion. Okay, we are just describing the motion, how to describe the motion of a body. Okay, what kind of motion is done by the body. So here very important terms are there: velocity, acceleration, speed. Okay, that we are going to discuss in this chapter. Okay, so let us start from the definition of motion that we have just now written on the board. Motion is the change in position of a body with time. Is it a correct definition? Okay, because when you have studied this definition in class 9th, you might be have studied there that motion, a body is said to be motion when a body is changing its position with respect to a fixed point, okay, with time. So when body is changing its position with respect to a fixed point, here we are describing the motion in the different way. The motion is the change in position of a body with time, because now we are going to tell you how to describe the position. Okay, position we have to see with respect to certain point. Okay, so to find out the position of any object, we must take some reference. So for reference we are taking 3 coordinate system. Okay, 3 coordinates which are mutually perpendicular to each other, and these coordinates are x, y and z. Okay, x, y and z, they are perpendicular to each other, and the point of intersection at which they all are meeting to each other, that point is called origin, and that origin we are taking as a reference point. Okay, so here we have 3 coordinate system, x, y and z. This is x axis, this is y axis, this is z axis, and this is the point O, which we call as origin. Okay, and origin we take as a reference point. Okay, reference point, that is the fixed point according to which we are going to define the position of any body. Okay, so if this is a body which is present in this coordinate system, if the position of any one of the coordinate like x, y, z, if its coordinates are x, y and z, in respect to x axis its distance is x, in respect to y axis its distance is y, and in respect to z axis its distance is z, if any one of them, either x or y or z or all 3, are going to be changed with time, then we say that body is changing its position. Okay, if their coordinates are not going to be changed with respect to time, then we say that body is in rest. It's very simple to define the position of any body. Okay, so we are defining the position with respect to a reference point, with respect to a fixed point. Now the definition becomes same that you have studied in class 9th. Okay, it was the body is said to be in motion if its position is going to be changed with time with respect to some fixed point. So here we have taken a fixed point, origin, a reference point. Okay, so now we are defining the position of a body with respect to this 3 coordinate system. If any one of the coordinate it is going to be changed with time, then we say that body is in motion. If it is not going to be changed, then we say that body is in rest. Okay, if we place this coordinate system along with a clock, then this coordinate system and clock together we call as frame of reference. Okay, so frame of reference, how to define the frame of reference? Frame of reference is, here I am writing the definition, frame of reference. If 3 coordinate axes, with clock are used to define the position of a body, then this combination is known as frame of reference. Okay, So along with these three coordinate system and a clock, we can define the motion of a body. Okay. So likewise, we can take an example. If a person is standing on a road and looking that a person is sitting in a car and moving on a straight road. Okay. So the position of car with respect to the reference frame stick to the person who is standing and watching the car. Okay. The respect to the origin of that coordinate system, the position of the x coordinate, like the car is moving in the x axis. Okay. The position of the value of x coordinate, it is changing. So the car, it is in motion, the car's position is changing with time. So that person who is standing on a road and watching the car, he will say that car is in motion because x coordinate, it is changing with time. Okay. And what about that? The reference frame stick to the driver who is driving the car. The person who is driving the car, if a reference frame, if a three coordinate system and a clock that is stick to that person, so for that person car is in rest, because car and that person are going together on the road. Okay. So that reference frame, according to that reference frame which is stick to the driver, the position of that driver is not changing. Okay, any of the coordinate is not changing. So for that driver, the car is in rest. Okay, so at the same time, the car is in rest, but the point of view is different. We are saying this rest position with respect to that reference frame which is stick to the driver. Okay, and the person who was standing on the road and watching the car, for that person car is in motion. So body is said to be in motion as well as in rest at the same time. It depends upon the reference point, what reference point we are taking to define the motion of the body. Okay, so motion and rest both are relative to each other. We can take very simple example of the train. A person is sitting inside a train and watching to the passengers sitting next to him. Okay, so according to that passengers, his position is not changing, so he is in rest. And if he is watching outside of the train through the window, the tree that they are lying outside, they are moving behind, that means he is in motion. So at the same time, the person is in rest as well as in the motion. So motion and rest are the relative terms to each other. Okay, so student, this was the introductory part of the motion in a straight line. We just have started and defined motion as well as the frame of reference. So next terms we are going to discuss in the next video lecture. Okay, till then, thank you so much.
Do self-study at home and stay home, save lives.